Hello, real estate professionals. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is the Agent Advantage September webinar. My name is Kurt Klaus, and with school back in session this month, we have put together a master class on agent excellence. Thanks to Marcy Sepulveda of Agent Publishing and her all-star panel of agents. She has put together today to do our little master class. This webinar series is brought to you by the guaranteed rate companies. Before we bring everyone on in a sec, we still have people logging on. Just a couple quick housekeeping items here. We do these webinars every single month. They are brought to you by the Agent Advantage website. Agent Advantage is no cost. It has coaching videos and webinars just like the one you're on today. It has a marketing system that's provided by Total Expert. There's mortgage tools. There is loan status access. There's a dashboard if you have a deal in progress. You're not a part of Agent Advantage. We have 3 versions of the site for all 3 of our companies. Agents.rate.com will get you to the guaranteed rate version. Agents.grarate.com for our affinity group, and agents.properrate.com for those working with our proper rate company. Quick mention, we also have a new Agent Advantage Insider Facebook page. We rolled this out 3 months ago. We've got a couple thousand agents. This is a closed group. If you want, you can go to Facebook, Agent Advantage Insider, request to join, or you can click that little QR code right on the PowerPoint screen there, and that will pull up a page where you can request to join the Agent Advantage Insider Facebook group. Again, it's a closed group. It has content, it has news, it has all of our upcoming agent events like this webinar, the forum for agent knowledge, and Agent Advantage Insider Facebook and the Agent Advantage website is all about promoting agent excellence, which is our topic today. We're excited. And we'll be bringing in 3 agents to get a conversation going. We want to hear specifics on exactly how they achieve the success that they have. But first, I would like to introduce the person that made this entire thing happen. It is Marcy Sepulveda. Marcy is the co-founder and managing partner of Agent Publishing. Marcy oversees operations for 6 different agent publications, along with Agent EDU, which is an online training company. She's a veteran of the real estate industry, been licensed for over 30 years. She's an expert in residential sales, in marketing, and working with agents and brokerages and even new home developers. So welcome, Marcy, friend. Thank you. We appreciate you. We're grateful for you gathering this group of agents together. A big thanks. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Appreciate it. So I guess we'll bring our 3 agents on one at a time and say hi. So I want to introduce each of them separately and where they're from. So first, and again, we're very thankful for their time and for them participating in this Top Agent Series. First, from Chicago, we have Amy Duong Kim. She does business in downtown Chicago as well as the burbs. She is the senior broker and founding member of Compass, and early on in her career, Amy joined her family's brokerage. That's where she started, and became managing broker a year later, 2013. Amy went to Jameson Sotheby's and formed her current company, Duong Kim Global. She joined Compass about 4 years ago, the year it opened in Chicago. Her team is all about clients first, and has not only allowed them to stay in the top 1% of agents, but has also helped assembling a really diverse team of up-and-coming agents. They're super passionate about helping people to find their place in the world. The Duong Kim Global team, one of the top teams of Compass, top 1% nationally, I have actually had the pleasure of meeting Amy here in Chicago, where I am based, and she's not only one of the most professional and successful agents here, but one of the nicest and kindest people I've ever met. Hello, Amy. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the nice words. I
Glad.
love you both. And I mean, I'll gush about Guaranteed Rate later, but yeah, it's such a pleasure to be part of this panel. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We're glad you're here. And next we have Michelle Furman, who is a partner owner at Century 21 Northeast, founder of the Furman Group, which is a real estate team focusing on retail REO corporate owned assets. They are in Northeast Massachusetts, Southern New Hampshire. I believe she's in the Andover, Massachusetts area. The Furman Group has continuously ranked #1 in the country for all Century 21 teams. And last year, #1 in the world for small teams. Michelle is also president of MSM Investment Group and Furman Family Trust, which focuses on acquisitions, renovation, resale of distressed assets. Welcome, Michelle. Great to meet you. Planning for this. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. This is a true honor, and it's inspiring to be amongst such powerful women.
Love it, love it, love it. And our third agent today is widely recognized for her knowledge and leadership in the Atlanta area, I guess specializing in Northern Atlanta as well, north of the city, consistently ranked over the past 2 decades, top producing agent. She has a team of 100 realtors. She personally coaches and leads throughout the country. Direct, engaged, charismatic personality shines through her work as a realtor. She's a coach. She's a recruiter. She is a local community advocate, a television expert. I've seen her on HGTV on a couple different shows. And a business owner from Collette and Associates and eXp Realty. Welcome to, and thank you to Collette McDonald of Atlanta.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here, and I am so happy to be able to give you guys a few nuggets today, hopefully, but also to learn from these amazing business people. So thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And again, thank you, Marcy, for being here and for putting this rock star team of agents together. This should be great. Excited to have this as one of our Agent Advantage webinars. So Agent Advantage, we're all about promoting and sharing agent excellence. We got 3 of the best today from 3 different cities. So we want to kind of have them share insights, how they achieve their success, tips, best practices. But we do these webinars live so you, the attendee, can ask questions. So please use that questions feature in the go-to and ask a specific question for Amy, Michelle, or Collette, or Marcy, or if you have a general question you want our panel to address, we can do that too. So please type your questions in that questions chat, and let's get today's conversation going. So again, thank you, Marcy. We will hand it over to you, and I will jump back in with a question, and we'll block a little time at the very end for questions. So I'll hand it over to you, Marcy.
Thanks so much, Kurt. And thank you, everybody who is viewing this today. You are all in for a treat. The people that we have on this panel today are among the best people in the industry. And if you are really interested in growing your career and learning how to be one of the top people in the country, you'll end up looking up everybody, following them. My suggestion is to follow their careers, as I have for many years now, and I have learned a lot from them, and anybody who does follow them after today's webinar will continue to find things from them all day. One of the reasons I wanted to have this particular group of people on is that they all run kind of different businesses from one another, but all run their businesses at the absolute highest level of professionalism. They're all self-made. They work all tirelessly, and they do spend a lot of time giving back. These are 3 of the busiest people I have ever known, and yet they were all able to find time to do this today. So I thank you guys in advance for this. But I wanted to talk about so many things today. So I thought we'd kick it off by talking about the market. I know that the question that we all get the most is, how's the market? What should I be buying? What should I be selling? What's going on? So Collette, can you talk to us, starting with maybe what's going on in Atlanta and how 2021 has been different from 2020 and better or different. Tell us about what's happening.
Well, we all started 2020 not knowing what to expect, right? That was when the pandemic hit. We were all a little afraid. We had lockdowns, and then the summer exploded. So when you look at your real estate market in any city, it's cyclical. Like what y'all are dealing with in Massachusetts and the Northeast and Chicago are totally different than Atlanta. Like our spring market starts in February while you guys still have snow and ice. We're out there showing property, and we're very lucky that we can do that. But last year was crazy because usually spring market, then it slows down for the summer, everyone goes on vacation, it comes back up, then we have relo Q4. Well, that kind of was just a crazy market. It was good in the summertime, and we had a great market up until October, November, and then we slowed down. We had no relocation clientele in Q4 here in Atlanta last year. And now we've come into 2021 and it's been amazing. The numbers are crazy. When we first started out in our spring market from February until about June, I mean, we couldn't keep houses on the market for more than 24, 48 hours. And it didn't delineate from price point either. That was $3 million properties to $300,000 properties. Our average price point in the Atlanta market is about $500,000. So everybody was looking to get out of where they were at and have a home or a new place to live. And we had a bunch of people coming from out of town to purchase. So we were grabbing people from Chicago, from New York, from San Francisco, here in Atlanta. So our market went crazy. Now we're starting to see it set to, level off a little bit, where houses may be on the market for 2 weeks. God forbid, 30 days. I just had a house that we had put up on the market. Guys, in 24 hours, I had 80 showings. That's how crazy it was. And I had to cut off the offers at the next day at 3 o'clock, and I had over 70 offers.
Wow.
You guys know what a nightmare that is as an agent, right? That's not what we So the market is great still. We've got a lot of new agents that have gotten licensed over the pandemic. So as a listing agent, as professional, as a coach, I'm seeing a lot of need there. I don't know if you guys are in your marketplace as well. A lot of need for some coaching.
So is 2021 going to be better for you than 2020 dollars wise?
Oh, great idea. Great question. It's actually going to be about 10% better.
Yeah. What about you, Michelle? What are you seeing?
So a lot of what Colette said is pretty much the same thing here. At the onset of COVID, we were all paranoid, all freaking out. Oh my God, this is the end of our career. That's it. We're going back to the beginning. And that lasted for about 5 or 6 weeks. And for us, that was a time of really sitting back and thinking, how am I going to pivot? How am I going to change my business strategy? What are we going to do to make things easier for the consumer? And I think, a lot of us had to do that. We had to change our mindset, change our way of being able to service the community. And it took us a few months, but we're back on it and stronger than ever. And just like Colette said, there was such little inventory here that for you to see, $100,000 over asking on a $500,000 house was the norm. And people waiving inspections and giving up their firstborn child, just like you see all over the country. And that has stayed strong, I'd probably say, until the last 6 weeks. We are starting to see some more inventory, and even in a town like my own, I live in Boxford, there was a time for 2 weeks we didn't have a single listing, not one, and I looked this morning, there's 22 properties on the market. Now, are we expecting to see a shift? Not in any way. The market is still very strong, but it's not as cutthroat or as crazy as it was for us. So we have definitely seen a shift. There is more inventory. You can still expect to pay full price, if not better, but you're not seeing that $100,000 over asking price and the crazy terms that we were seeing just 6 weeks ago.
And
That's a great question, by the way. what's the craziest terms you guys have seen buyer's agents bring you on your listings, or that you've had to do? Maybe that's one down the road, but I just thought of that, Marcy.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny. I have seen, I've been talking to a lot of agents over the last few months, and I have heard stories of people reselling houses back that they sold for that person a few years ago. And I've seen them just having people who have given up or have done all kinds of crazy things. I've been licensed a long time and I've been around a long time. I have never seen the spectacle that I had really seen these last few months. And so, yeah, it's, and I've heard crazy, really crazy terms. Michelle, can I ask you though, do you think that 2021 at the end will be better business-wise for you than 2020 was?
100%. I actually had one of my team members do the numbers for us. So from last year to this year, so September 1st through September of 2020 to September 1st of this year, we've seen an increase in our own team, 65% in GCC. 65. And in transactions, with as limited inventory as there was, we had an increase of 33% in
Wow.
closed deals within our own team.
How many people
And
are in your team?
so we're a small team. We're only 12, but we're full-time agents. And I've really tried to make the team a superstar team. So, you know, we're all full-time agents that are really out there, you know, grinding and working as hard as we can be. So our system is a little bit different than most, but this year we've already exceeded what we did last year. You know, we're expecting, you know, to be to blow our goal out of the sky. So we're super excited. And I know that a lot of other teams in this area are doing the same.
I've been hearing that all the way around. Amy, what about you? Are you seeing a better 2021 than 2020, even though it was good 2020 as well? What's going on in your
Yeah,
market?
so, it's interesting to hear what Colette and Michelle are saying. I echo the fact that typically we see a hot spring market right after Super Bowl in Chicago, but it was guns blazing January 1st for us, and I'm sure for most of the top agents in the Chicagoland area. Unfortunately, yes, you're right, Colette, we have to show in blizzards and 12 inches of snow. So that's no fun. I'm getting my snow gear ready for this winter. But it was just crazy. And I think that it really didn't stop until, and Michelle's right on, and I literally had a conversation with my client about this 6 weeks ago here in Chicago. So it was bonkers crazy up until 6 weeks ago. So, it's very interesting for me in the sense that I do both the Chicago city market as well as the suburb market. So we saw it was insane for the single family market, especially in anything priced over $1 million. Things were even $3 million. It was pretty wild. And that was through, I would say, end of July. And it was very interesting to see all these sellers selling their single family homes in these suburbs and actually gravitating back into Chicago, like into the city high rise market. So that was exciting to see, and something completely different. I used to be an actuary in my past life, so I love looking at historic data. I'm such a real estate nerd. I read about everything going on. So it's not anything, like Marcy's correct. It's not anything that I've ever really experienced before as being a realtor. So that has been a lot of fun to experience and go through and live through with my clients. So I think, I don't know, we were maybe like $38 million last year in 2020, where we've hit $50 million in sales this year. We're not done. I don't know what we'll end up at because when you have luxury listings, it's a big swing. You don't know if it's going to sell or not. So, but
How are
yeah,
you planning
I
for the
think that's over a
fall?
30% increase.
How are you planning for the fall? Are you already, do you think the fall is just going to continue on as it is now, or do you think things are going to shift for the
I
fourth
mean,
quarter?
I think the great thing about this business is, we're gonna, as Michelle and I'm sure Colette and every other top producer out there, we had a little break, but we're just gonna keep on going. This is an opportune time for getting our buyers out there to get them into inventory. If they were really fatigued from losing on offers, this is an opportunity to reach out to them again and really get them into the properties that they wanted to get into over the summer. Interest rates are still fantastic. So, you know, I strongly believe it's, you know, I think as agents, you know, we are telling the public and the consumer that, you know, this is still a fantastic time to buy. And just because it's slow, it's an even better time to get out there and see what inventory you can find, and reaching out to your colleagues to see what they may be having in the pipeline in the spring, and maybe getting them in right now.
So have you already started your business planning for 2022? I know we're just almost done with the third quarter here.
Yes.
And how early do you guys start planning for 2022?
Right now.
Now,
Yeah, now. So you're planning it now. And what about like what kind of shifts, if anything, marketing wise, did you start doing more of because of COVID that you're going to keep and that you're going to plan and bringing into your 2022 plan as well, even if you may or may not be dealing with that much COVID? Anything saying? How about you, Colette?
Oh, you know what I'm going to say. I'm all about video. All about video, guys. Technology revolution, right? If you guys look at the how we actually communicate, I get to sit here with Michelle and Amy and learn from them, and they're the top producers in the marketplace, and I don't have to get in my car and go to a convention center. I mean, this is amazing. Think of that for the buyers and the sellers out there. I'm a big video user for video walkthroughs for my listings. And I know all the top producers do virtual tours. I take it to a next level where I tell my sellers, look, my job is to sell your house. I know the most about your house. So I'm actually going to make a mini commercial for every single house. And I'm going to utilize all of our social media platforms because they're all different. You got Insta, you got TikTok. I'm not a TikToker, by the way. You've got Facebook, you've got LinkedIn. You have all of these opportunities to get your message and your position on the product, which is your seller's house, unfiltered by another agent. That's the buyer's agent who doesn't know about the house, right? Mm-hmm. So I've been doing this for 5 years, and it's getting easier and easier to do these videos, and having live streams of open houses, right? Because some people don't want to go in. Some of your sellers don't want to have open houses. So having that opportunity to have the video capabilities for everything is something I'll continue, but also for the development of our teams, right? Because we are big entrepreneur agents that have teams. We can connect with our agents in such a different way and help coach them up at so many different levels utilizing this type of platform. So that will continue in my business as well.
And do you use any traditional things like postcards or anything at all like that?
I do, and I'll tell you why. And I still send out my postcards. I still send out direct mail because I think that people through the pandemic, they need some more touch points. They need not only video, guys. That's why catalogs are still sent to you, right? As an actuary, Amy, you're watching those numbers. People are still sending that stuff out for a reason. This is a credibility booster, right? You know what you're talking about. You're selling the house, but you got to hit those buyers, those sellers, that farm, that sphere in the traditional ways as well. This is just another addition. And if you're not adding this video, adding technology to your business plan, then you're probably going to be left behind.
What about you, Michelle or Amy? Do you do anything other than that, or is there anything that's unique to you, Michelle?
So we just added a videographer, and this is to kind of add to what Colette said. I think that within the last, maybe it was 9 months ago, we said we need to really up our social media presence. We need to be out there in a different way like we've never been before. So we hired a videographer, and it has been a game changer for us. We hired an in-house marketing person, and we film every Tuesday. And our goal is to get as much exposure via YouTube, via, you know, the cutesy videos, via TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of these things. But we never had to think about that before because it always just kind of like fell in your lap. But now you just really have to think outside of the box. And yeah, we actually did go back to direct mailers. We hadn't been doing direct mailers for quite some time, but this really pushed us back to that. So really kind of going back into the fundamental stuff of, you know, what can I do to be able to get to the masses? It led us to end up hiring a videographer full time, and that's been a game changer.
You know, something that I thought was interesting, sometimes when I talk with agents who are top producers and who have been top producers for quite some time, especially if they're a little older, sometimes they'll say, you know, I don't need to do any of these things. I've always had this traditional business. And I kind of say, all these young people who are so media savvy are nipping at your heels here, and you don't have the luxury of sitting out. And you agree with that, Amy? Do you agree with that? What are you doing? I know you do a lot of things, but
Yeah, I love speaking to other agents. My referral network is a huge piece of our business, and really knowing other markets as well. Unfortunately, you know what, people are just, home means something totally different now than it did 2 years ago. And I think that it's really important to understand that of our consumers and what they need, and whether that's upgrading, downgrading, relocating. So, you know, I'm a little old school. I actually call every client that I've had, and I always do that from Thanksgiving to Christmas. And I just see how everything's going. And they expect that of me now, that I do that. And, you know, we've done over 500 transactions. So it's a lot of, it's a lot of phone calls. So, but you know, it's great insight. It's great insight in the sense that, you know, that they need a bigger home for their children, or they're looking to move to Florida, or things like that. And really working that referral network. I agree with all the technology. I'm actually at this point where I feel like I'm overexposed, you know, like everybody knows what's going on in our lives and what we've sold and whatnot. But unfortunately and fortunately, it's easy to market in that sense. And it's a great way to get your marketing is just like an onion. There's many different layers, and you have to hit all of them, whether that's personal and, you know, kind of to the masses with video. So I don't want to take away from that personal touch that I think is always important. I agree with you, Marcy. You know, there's agents who say they don't need to do this stuff, but you do need to do a combination of both. I think it's very, very important to do a combination of both.
And you know, all of you guys run teams, and so I wanted to ask you a little bit about like how much is your team involved in your marketing? Like Colette, like you're on screen a lot. I mean, you're on camera a lot. Are any of your team members? Do you include them on screen, or are they somehow in the background doing things? Or I'm curious to how each of you are running that from a marketing perspective, where they're included and where they're not.
So like I tell all of my agents, there's a seat at the table for everyone, right? Depending upon your life, depending upon the time you can commit, and also your skill level. But I want to teach you how to do this stuff. I want to train you how to do this stuff. So come with me, do it yourself. You can use my listings if you don't have them, do video, copy me, okay? So I include my team members on every single opportunity to not only utilize my listings to help their credibility and their social media, but I also try to teach them. And I'll tell you, I've got some amazing talent on my team because, you know, real estate, it attracts a lot of cool professions, right? Especially during COVID. And I've got some guys that are actors and have their own production companies that they put together the funniest video that I wouldn't have time nor the talent or creativity to put together, but they went with it, and it's amazing. Or I'll have someone who's brand new to it that will do a live video at an open house because they came to one open house and I showed them how to do it. So I involve them as much as they want to be involved, because again, there's a seat at the table on my team for everybody. And that's what I love about where I'm at in my career, right? I've been doing this for 2 decades. I'm second generation. I've had enormous success. Now it's really about seeing how I can give back and help the next generation come up. And my dad and my family did that for me. And technology is now allowing me to do that to amazing amounts of people at one time. And then in the Atlanta market, gobs of agents. So I'm just a big technology person, as you know. That was my career, and
Yeah,
coming
and-
into real estate now with the pandemic, you know, I'm just thankful for my training.
And I love being part of your Facebook group because yeah, it's very valuable and very fun, very interesting, and it really gives any viewer a chance to like get to know you and feel comfortable working with you that way. So Amy, I know that like when we did our Who's Who shoot with you, and you had your whole team there, and you
Yes.
include your team into the shoot. How much like do they have their how do you include your team into your marketing efforts, or do they do their own things, do you work it all together? What do you do?
So we do a lot of branding things for Dwam Kim Global that anyone can use. But we also have a unique situation that there are 5 additional languages that we speak on our team. So a lot of translation happens. I think that our marketing person is it's just a lot of work to translate all the things that we have. So it gives us the opportunity. It doesn't have to be language, though. Colette's completely correct. Like, you want to find what that person, like how they want to grow their business, whether it's through language or through, their YouTube videos and whatnot, and what they're strong at. And hopefully you can try to reflect that in their marketing. So one of our team members, she's on the Japanese consulate for the Real Estate National Association of Realtors. She does lots of webinars with Japanese investors. She's just fantastic, and Japanese is really like her strong suit and where her clientele is in Illinois. So that is just one thing. My husband speaks Korean, and we do a lot of Korean marketing for him, and that has been just very helpful. But I know that this is super, super niche. Not everyone has that, but
Great.
we are definitely very specific per agent in their marketing. And then we have this umbrella of an overall marketing campaign for the team itself.
The brand itself, yes. And Michelle, what about you? Your team, I mean, #1 in the world, that's for Century 21. I mean, that's a giant achievement. Will you talk a little bit about your team, how your team came to be, and how you like to run it? And I mean, it's one of the most successful teams I've ever seen.
So we're a super small team. I keep mentioning that. And the reason being that's by choice. We have a very much family-based feel in our group. It's gotten to the point that whenever we get an inquiry of someone that is interested in joining the team, I actually will panel it with the team. So-and-so is interested. What are your thoughts? What can this person contribute to our team, and how can we bring this person to the next level? And we make a decision as a group as to whether or not we're going to bring someone in. And once we do bring someone in, we actually as a group decide, okay, who can we look at now? Who can we target, right? If for lack of a better word, that would really help us get to the next level. And in turn, we can bring them to that same space. So for us, that's been the type of relationship that I've had with my team. Most of the people that are with me have been with me for a very long time. My main assistant's been with me for 18 years. So, most of them have been with me for over 10, which is great. And even the younger ones who are 25, 26, I've known them since they were 13, 14 years old. They hung out with my kids. So it really does have that whole family element in it.
Can I just say something? That's amazing, Michelle, that your agents have been with you that long. And like Amy was talking about being an actuary, the average life cycle of a team member or an agent on a team is usually 2.5 years. You've blown the doors off that. That's
all my people, my team lead is my husband, so he's with me forever. But I agree with Michelle, like I think it's 7 years for all of our team members.
amazing.
So at
Wow.
minimum 7 years. I think
That's
that's the lowest.
that speaks to you guys and how well you run your teams as well. A lot of the time there's turnover because people are unhappy or think that they can do better on their own. And that is probably not true with you guys. And Colette, I remember, well, I think I met all three of you actually. The first time I met you was at a photo shoot, I think for all three of you for something for one of our magazines. And Colette, you stand out to me because at that shoot, within maybe 10 minutes of us chatting, I don't know exactly what you saw, but you started to try to recruit me.
100%.
And
Absolutely.
and I understand this because everyone who knows me knows that my favorite thing to do is to turn a civilian into a real estate agent. So I tell people all the time how to get into the industry. But you, I think, all of us who do any recruiting, we're able to like spot certain characteristics in people and know that even if they're not a realtor right now, that you could probably, they've got what it takes. So Colette, can you talk a little bit about what it is that you look for in people or what you see? And it's funny because I think that you haven't stopped trying to recruit me all these years.
Yeah, it's all about follow-up, people. Furiously follow up with people.
Nobody
Never
says
give up.
It is.
yeah, we don't
All
say
about
no
the
to people,
follow-up.
right?
Right.
So
It's
what
not
do you do?
no, it's just no right now is my
Yeah.
philosophy, right? Well, I'm lucky because I'm second generation, right? So I saw how my dad came from nothing, like, a farm boy. I grew up in Wisconsin, didn't even have electricity till he was 12, didn't have running water till they was 16. And he was able to do something great in real estate. And I never even thought I was going to come into real estate, but 9/11 changed that. Changed a lot for a lot of us. And that's why I'm in real estate. And I'm passionate about identifying talent that can, it's a hard job. Let's be honest. Like you said, Marcy, one day when we were talking, like Michelle and Amy, if you call them, they're picking up their phone. And they're some of the busiest people they may be on vacation, what have you. They work 7 days a week. They take care of their clients. They're truly out there helping people. And our job, this profession, allows us to help so many people in so many different ways. And I'm so passionate about it that it's easy for me to talk to people who are in the industry or not in the industry. And technology, the way that it has come to the forefront in the last decade, and specifically in the last 2 years, I'm personally just so passionate and in love with the brokerages that have been developed over that time period. And I'm lucky to be with mine, and I'm not going to make this a recruiting call, but I am passionate about making sure people understand their options as an actuary, understanding numbers, understanding what brokers and brokerages can offer the real estate agent to give them the life that they want and to help more people than they ever thought possible at their corporate job. I'll recruit my waiters and waitresses at restaurants. I mean, my son is the reason that I went into real estate 20 years ago, because 9/11, that was the first day of daycare. I got him his license. He's now selling, I'm just passionate.
My 18-year-old's about to get his license as well. He's just taken the state test, but he doesn't even intend to practice. But in our house,
you got real estate. I always tell people you could go so many different ways with real estate. You could, go to New York and be a leasing consultant. You could go into commercial. You can go into, industrial, cold storage, all sorts of things available to you. You just have to lay the right foundation.
So when you like, do you see a quality in somebody? What is it that you look for? Like,
so there are 3 things that make a great real estate agent. Okay. First is going to be understanding of inside sales. Someone that can take a call, understand motivation, buyers, sellers, build rapport over the phone, right? There's outside sales, people who want to who can actually go out, an agent that can go out or a person that can go out and make people want to do business with you face to face. They may not even know you, right? So if someone's got an engaging personality, I know they're great at outside sales. I can teach inside sales. The third is obviously understanding real estate and having the knowledge of the contracts and the houses and the product and the process. So honestly, there's something for everyone in the real estate world. It's just tapping into who that person is. So I don't like to limit anybody, quite honest. I talk to so many people to see if this would be an opportunity for them. The only thing I can't teach is getting out of that laziness, right? So if I don't see someone with energy, wanting to work 7 days a week, having that, that drive to have an income so that they can take care of whatever's important in their life, that's really the only time I'd say, probably not somebody that is going to be working on my team.
And Michelle, you said that your group gets together to thumbs up or thumbs down somebody who might want to join the team. What is it that's going to give them a thumbs up, or a thumbs down? I guess. What are the things you look for?
So again, like I said, we're very much a family. So for us, it's somebody that we can bring in, that we're going to be able to work together, be able to thrive off of each other, be able to have that energy, which can just help us feed. For example, we're the type of group that we have a little WhatsApp group, and we talk maybe 100 times a day. Hey, just put 123 Banana Street, under contract. Everyone's like, yes, good for you. What can I do about this? What can I do about that? We are consistently talking, looking for information to see what can we do to be able to solve a problem. There is no jealousy within us. There is no, this person took this from me. That does not exist within our group. So when we look for somebody that, we're willing to bring into our family, we all understand that we're all going to nurture that person, teach them what we know to help them get to that next level. So it's a commitment on everyone's end.
Can they be a brand new agent, or do they have to come to your team with a book of business, or how do you view that aspect?
So we're not doing anything with brand new agents right now. I realized a couple of years ago, I love brand new agents, but right now at the average GCC that we have per team member, we're at about 275,000 GCC per team member. For us, that's a big deal. We wanted to create a team that you look at us and say, that's the team of superstars. That's the team I want to be a part of. That's the team that my goal is to be a part of. So what we've decided to do is agents that, are brand new agents or just haven't hit that, but do have that availability or do have that spark in their eye, we'll bring them on as an off team member. So we can bring them into the agency and have them and start working with them and have them show us, yes, they can be somebody, that's going to prove that they're going to put in the work. We don't want to have the turnover, and let's face it, it takes a lot of time and effort to be able to get someone, to become a superstar. And we started doing the numbers, and I started looking at it. It takes about 3 to 4 months to be able to really train someone, get them to understand not only your systems, but to get them on the same energy level as everyone else. So if it's somebody that it just doesn't have that or needs to prove, hey, I deserve to be here, great, we'll bring you off team. We'll do the work, and then once you get to that point, then we'll have another conversation and see if it's a good fit.
That's great. Amy, how about you? Do you ever bring new agents on, or how do you pick who makes it onto your team?
Yeah, so I decided right before COVID that we were no longer going to take any newer agents, and really looking at the volume. We have a minimum amount that each agent needs to do. We're actually going to be increasing that next year for 2022. But really, like, grit and hustle. That's all. I mean, I agree with Colette that really I have a math and theater background. That is odd. It's like working two sides of your brain. But all my team members have just a wealth of knowledge, and you really can implement real estate in every person, but you can't change the fact if they're not going to work. So grit and hustle. If I can contact you at, not that this would be a test, but if I want to reach out to you and say, hey, I had a crazy day, I'm sorry I couldn't reach out to you, let's talk at 10 p.m., all of my team members would do that. And they know that I would do that for them as well. Yeah. So, I actually do give the opportunity to a lot of team members, but if I feel like it's not working out, which I haven't had that happen a lot lately, is that I just cut it off very quickly. So, but I've been fortunate and thankful that I've had some really great agents on our team.
And I'm so sorry, if I could add to that, to what Amy was saying, and even to what I had said. So we do also have a minimum. Our minimum is 160,000 GCC. Now, that's not to say that we haven't taken people on. Our last 3 team members that came on, family members, right, that came on, they weren't at that. But we saw in them that they absolutely had it in them to be at that level. They were just functioning in the wrong environment. So we had the conversation, hey, so-and-so, is not at that level. I truly feel with the right nurturing, with the right environment and skill and coaching, that we can get them to that level. And in turn, this person can help us with marketing. This person can help us with this and bring us all up. And I got to tell you, of the 3 that were the last 3 we brought have just literally blown me away. Even doubled their GCC from the year before in their previous environment. So we will bring in agents that aren't meeting that GCC, but that we know with the right molding, we can get them there.
It's funny. I know, yes, it is true that all of you guys take calls at all times. And when I called Michelle to find out if she was interested in being in as part of this panel a while back, I was on the phone with her for a couple of minutes before she mentioned that she happened to be in Italy on vacation. But she just picked up the phone. Not vacation, because she was,
No,
yes.
I was in a different office space. You're never on vacation. You just relocate where your office is for the time.
She answered the phone, first ring, and just didn't miss a beat, and no matter where she is. But so back to this. So I get a lot of calls from people who are thinking of coming into the industry or who are new into the industry, and so what should they do? How do they a lot of times they say, they ask me if I can help them get onto a team or something like that. And you guys have, I don't know if I should just try to get them onto a lesser team or something, or what advice do you have for people who are newer in the industry and have what it takes, but they, should they just be working the regular sphere or join a team, or what do you think, Colette? I know you
I
have
think
some.
I honestly, my biggest thing for new agents is understanding the options, right? Doing their homework and digging into the different types of models. Like, would you want to go with this type of broker that's full service, that has this types of commission split? Would you want to go with a team on this type of brokerage that has this commission split? I loved it when Amy said she was an actuary, right? Because the numbers are really important. And I think as a new agent, they just think, I'm going to get this license and I'm going to start selling. And I've seen those commission checks and it's going to be amazing. And that's the biggest roadblock I see with new agents, and not understanding how the numbers work for them and the time commitment that they can put into this. And then also understanding as a new agent what training and coaching is given to you and how. Is it through the brokerage? Is it through different CE courses offered by a secondary platform, educational source? Is it from your team lead? Is it from an agent that's a mentor? And that's a key right there for a new agent, is you have to make sure that you got a mentor that you can call at 9 o'clock at night when you're doing a contract. I get new agents all the time crying that they were at another brokerage and they could never get anybody on the phone. And I think that's systemic in our real estate brokerages right now. If there's not a tie-in to that person, they're not going to answer that phone. So you as a new agent have to do your research.
I think that that's true all the way around. We have something called Agent EDU, that is a training platform, and I really just started that because it drove me crazy that agents weren't doing they weren't practicing the fundamentals. They weren't understanding it, because as you guys all know, most people come into this industry as a second or third career from something else, and they may have a certain set of skills, but not all the skills they need. So I tried to put something together where people could learn what they needed. But do you guys have training that do you personally train, or do you send them somewhere? You have your companies do it? How do you guys work that?
If you'd like me to start, first of all, I think Colette hit the nail right on the head. If you, as a new agent, you're joining a team or a brokerage, whatever it may be, you really need to understand what their systems are, especially if you're joining a team. What is your team leader doing? Where are your leads coming from? Where is your mentorship? Who do you turn to? I can't tell you how many times we get calls from other brokerages, other agents that work in different companies. How do I write up an offer? You know, they don't have systems in place in their own company. So to me, it's mind-boggling. But whatever you decide to do, make sure you have that conversation and understand what people's roles are. Where do I turn to be able to create my business? Who do I turn to for mentorship? Who do I turn to for accountability? And that's a big part of it. The other thing that Colette said that was for me is huge is coaching. I think coaching is a fundamental part of your business, no matter what stage you are. You know, I still coach not only do I coach my team, I still have my own coach that I'm
Well,
accountable.
you're a CEO of your business. Think of all the big CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. They have a board
And
of directors, right? You got to have your board of directors.
course. Warren Buffett has a coach, a life coach. You know, you're never at the point that you can't stop learning. And it's great to have someone that can really look at you and say, hey, you know, let's try this, let's try that from a different point of view, and it's going to hold you accountable. We do coaching every single week. They have to be on that call. I'm on that call, and we do a roll call at the beginning. Hey, you said that your goal for the week was X as far as calls and leads and people that you were going to meet. Your project for the week was X. Your goal for this week is X, and your project for this week is X. And we hold them accountable to it. You know, and I think it's really helped us because when an agent knows, oh, you know, I'm going to be in front of the rest of my team and they're going to call me out if I didn't, you know, it really puts that fire under your butt. So accountability and coaching is a huge part of anybody's success. I don't care what level you're at. And I think that that's been, you know, fundamental for us.
And Amy, do you agree with that? Do you do coaching? Do you have a coach? What's your setup?
I do not have a coach because I feel that I am I give my own initiative and everything. So my husband thinks I'm crazy and thinks I'm a workaholic. So, but I agree with everything Colette and Michelle had said. I found out earlier. So I was fortunate that real estate was always in our family. And my brother, Trong, who's on our team now, was my mentor. He taught me everything about real estate. And I agree with Colette, you have to find the research, you have to find an awesome managing broker who is going to help you and guide you. And if your goal, I knew early on I could not, I tried it, I'm not good at training new agents. But there are many teams and realtors and managing brokers that are fantastic at it. So Andy Shaparsky at Compass, like I call him, I feel he's on speed dial. I'm a managing broker, I'm a veteran, and I still need to call him just for advice and coaching, you know, down like business planning right now down the line. So, you know, you have to have a really great connection with your managing broker. I think that's a huge part. If you can, if you're fortunate enough to be able to get a mentor, that's even better. So those two things for sure. And, you know, stars were aligned for me in that I was able to have that in my career and in my life. I know it's not always easily accessible to other people, but for sure, do your research. Just don't go and join a brokerage because, you know, they have the prettiest marketing or whatever the reason. You know, you got to go for the people first.
Well, I find
And
that
I think
a
that's
lot of
the first thing.
I'm sorry, a lot of the people that I know who join brokerages who are new, they will join a brokerage because they have a friend who's in that brokerage. And then a lot of times they find out that that's not exactly what they needed because they needed other things than that friend who may be an agent for a number of years already and be kind of ahead of them in the learning game here. So I do think that if you're newer and you are watching this, please, you know, take a look at what you're being provided and see if that is helpful to you. Or, you know, sometimes it's not about the best brokerage, it's more about a good fit for you
The
for
right
whatever your needs
brokerage.
are. Yeah.
If I
Colette's completely right. We're in this transition right now in the real estate industry where, you know, there is definitely a change in what realtors need. And all brokerages are fantastic. It's finding the right fit for you, which is the key. So, I think that every brokerage has a great like value add to that realtor. It's just finding the right one.
I don't know if I agree with that. I've run into really bad ones. I'm kidding. Oh, no. Talk about my 60 offers. That was awful.
I think we're approaching our hour mark. Kurt, if you have any questions for us, if anybody's brought any in, if you'd like to throw some questions at the team here. Oops, not hearing you, Kurt.
I want Amy and Michelle,
Yes.
throw
No,
out your
no.
social media
No,
identifiers.
Thanks, Marcy. Back on, thanks. We had lots from new agents. We got a big group, and I'm so glad the four of you each gave what your advice would be to a new agent. That was one thing I was going to come on and ask. But yeah, let's try to do a little quick fire here, some questions from some experienced agent. I'm going to ask this one to Amy. It's about time management and knowing you, Amy. 3 kids, family, traveling all over the place. Agent wants to know how you juggle and run and structure and delegate your team as busy as you are. Any tips on that?
My calendar is my Bible. I have to look at my calendar every day. It has to be on point. It's like down to the 15 minutes after this phone call. I have to like make 4 phone calls before 3 o'clock. So, when I'm working, I'm working. When I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids. When I'm with my husband, same thing. So I'm very in the moment. I tried to multitask and do all these things, and I felt like I was failing at it. I mean, people who can do that, that's great, but I'm very in the moment of what I'm doing. So thank you to whoever thinks that, but it took a lot to get here. The people who know me, they know that I have 3 kids, and my life is crazy, but you don't think that you can change your life from 0 to 180. I think when I learned that, okay, I just have to master a habit. And once I master that habit, then I can add another habit. I'm not going to try to, be this perfect mom or perfect realtor. And I think I can get that done in a day. It's like training. You have to train your body. You have to train your schedule. You have to, do all these things to make sure that you can do, be successful in work, be involved with your family, and be there for like your friends and your husband.
Thank you, thank you. And this one, I think I will ask to Michelle. Someone wants to know about, instead of targeting or farming one specific area, and I know you work in many neighborhoods, even in another state, how do you scale your business? How do you decide where to go, and how do you execute that?
Oh, geez. So we're huge with online marketing. We have a big piece of Zillow. And just like Amy, I'm a numbers girl. I'm looking at what's actually giving me the best ROI. Where is our business coming from? Where do we see a lot of turnover? And we're focusing on that. So even if my town could be a higher sale price, but there's very little turnover, I'm focusing on the town next door where there's 10 to 12 different transactions that are happening a day that I can get a bigger return on my money. So I'm looking at where's the most things that are happening, where are people moving to, and where are we getting a better rate for our money.
Well said, well said. Lots of chatter on video. People love video. And Colette, I have to ask this to you, ColetteMcDonald.com. All of your videos are there. And I know Michelle said you just hired a full-time videographer, but if I'm an agent that wants to get going with video, Colette, how did you get started? Is it shooting videos from your phone? Is it bringing on help? How did you start? What are you doing currently? What type of content is working, and how are you sharing it?
Holy cow, there's so much in that question,
it was
right?
rolling in.
I mean, I could do a whole hour discussion just on that one question. But what I'll tell you is now technology has advanced to such a state that you can do video yourself if you're just starting out on your iPhone 11 and Plus or your Droid, okay? Get a good editing software, start doing video about your community, start doing video about listings, start getting traction out there of who you are in your community, okay? Video is huge. Utilize the tools that are out there for each one of the social media pages that we have. The algorithms change constantly, guys, so you have to stay up on this. You know, Marcy, you asked me earlier about a Facebook posting, right? Well, Facebook, Instagram, they all have these great algorithms, but things are changing. You have to be on top of. You have to be on top of Google. You have to be on top of pages versus your own page. You have to make a group. And what does that group look like? If you're, you know, new to the business, you asked about, you know, how do you farm or figure out an area to go? I always tell agents that if you're starting out in the business, start becoming that community advocate and video everything. Go where you want to live. Like if you live in, you know, one neighborhood, but 10 years from now, you want to be in that neighborhood, start working that neighborhood, start working that town, start figuring out who the players are. Go to your planning commission, go to your zoning commission, and be the source. We have the opportunity to be such a pivotal part of our community, and then it helps people, but it helps yourself. So start
And
out.
I just want to add, I don't think people should get discouraged when you don't
No,
have like a million views. Just continue to put the content out there and
little by
just make
little
sure
by
you're
little.
consistent about doing it.
You'll get the traction. And so follow me at Colette Knows Best. Follow me at Colette McDonald and Associates on Facebook and join Real Agent Talk. Those are 3 platforms that I not only, you copy what I do, okay? Go on Real Agent Talk. It's a private group. I post stuff up there all the time, guys, about what you can be doing to increase your video knowledge. Start using text message video and get comfortable just sending text message videos to your clients. Hey, just thought of you today, you know, like Amy was talking about with her 500 past clients, you know, quick text message, just thinking about you today. I really wanted to say thank you again for those referrals. You know, you guys are always thinking about me, and that helps keep a roof over my family's head, and I appreciate and love you. Send them a text video. That's impactful. So start out small, just be consistent. If you have 5 followers, that's fine. Those suckers will grow. Don't pay for followers. Be actually organic.
Great, thanks for sharing those 2 sources there. One more, I know we're pushing on time, promise someone I'd get theirs in. And I'll leave this up to the panel of 4. In this competitive market, what professional tips do you have for buyer's agents to win the property for their clients over and above just presenting the highest and best bid on the table? Who wants to take that one?
Oh gosh, that's so good.
Yep.
I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Maybe everyone gives a
A
little
nice team
answer.
offer, you know, try to put your best foot forward. Have a really good pre-approval from Guaranteed Rate is like pretty much gold here in Chicago, and I'm sure in every other market. So, and really just make it nice and clean. You know, I always educate my clients that, you know, you're really likely not going to win the house if you have a home contingency. So you have to plan and have expectations of those things before you go and really put an offer somewhere and you're seriously buying.
We've been using a highlight sheet for our offers. One of our agents, Kiki, came up with this, and it's really worked phenomenally. And what we've done is in an offer, you know, besides the fact that we're waiving appraisal, we're waiving our home inspection, we're doing this and that, we're putting everything in details of things that you can't put in an offer because it's too much. My buyer is willing to do X, Y, and Z. I'm using my lender, who is my preferred lender. Here's how many transactions we've closed with them. This is what their FICO score is. Here's a copy of what they have in the bank. I mean, we're really going above and beyond to have just full disclosure. So that's really helped us. And even just having the lender call, you know, this person is solid. We've already done all the homework, and full transparency has been very amazing. We've gone from last year to the height of the craziness of only getting about 11% offers being accepted to right now we're getting over 40% offers accepted.
Okay, I heard 2 things in there that I totally agree. Number 1, you gotta set expectations with those buyers. Don't waste your time if they won't listen to you, that they have to be fully approved and they have to come in just perfect and they have to use a local vetted lender or they have to have cash. And number 2, the offer sheet, right? Summarizing that for the listing agent. I'm going to go a step further, guys. Don't make mistakes. Read those private remarks that the listing agent put the time and effort into for you to be successful. If there is a preferred offer sheet, read it. Talk to your buyer about it. Do what you're told. And if you know there's multiple offers and you're asking for things like closing costs, 10-day due diligence, a bunch of BS in your special stipulations, you've already lost. Make sure that it is clean and it's concise and you're respecting that listing agent's time. And I'm gonna take it one step further. Have your lender, your leveraged buddy, send that listing agent something. Send them cookies, send them flowers. Say thank you so much. I can't wait to work with you. Michelle is amazing. I've worked with her on every transaction. The buyers, her team has got it down. And of course, my team is fantastic. But if it goes by a leveraged partner, they're just helping you help that agent feel comfortable. You can get that deal to close.
Right, thanks to everybody. How about one run through for each of the four of you? Any closing remarks or predictions for next year?
I think it's gonna be wild. So I think it's gonna be crazy again. And we only have like, I work with a lot of international clients and they have not been able to buy anything at all. So I think more money is coming into the US market for sure.
So this is actually a tip that I'm going to give you guys, not only as new agents, as experienced agents. Make sure you have the right systems in place, because the market is going to absolutely continue to be amazing. But if you don't have the right systems in place and the right people in place, you're never going to be able to keep up. You know, we implemented CTE this year, which has really helped us tremendously. Monday.com, Follow Up Boss, YLOPO, and the list just goes on and on. If you don't have those right tools, you're not going to be able to really grow and continue to pivot.
And one thing that we can be certain is it's going to change, right? You've got to be salty. You've got to be doing your research. And someone asked Amy about, you know, how do you handle everything, right? And she was talking a little bit about time and making sure she has everything set aside. Time block for yourself too, and understanding what people like Marcy are posting, right? What is the trend of other companies? How do the economy of different you watch CNBC, look at Marcy's publication, look at RSI Media, look at Inman. You got to be the expert. Not that you're going to get overwhelmed, but you have to understand markets always change, right? They can go better, they can stay a little bit less, they could go down. We've lived through them all, and just be ready to be able to explain what's happening to your clients and be prepared for it.
And I will add to that. I think that what we're going to expect for 2022 is a lot more work, a lot less sleep, a lot more agents coming in. Competition is growing. Everybody's growing teams. There are shifts in the way everybody's handling their business. But for one thing for sure, I always say, you know, real estate is a lot of things, but it's not boring. And so I'm looking for an exciting 2022, and that's pretty much what I'm hearing from all the agents too. We are an optimistic bunch. We tend to look on the bright side, and we have a lot of energy, and those who follow that will be successful. If you're having trouble, just keep working it, stick around, talk to smart people who are doing well, emulate others that you see, and it will come. There is enough business for all of us out there. And so if we all just do a good job, this is too important of a profession not to do well. This is people's lives we're dealing with, people's finances we're dealing with. It's who's going to grow up near each other. A lot of things go into this. We as representatives of the real estate industry owe it to our industry to do a good job every day and bring our best every day. And I think like this panel of people here are a good example of people to follow.
Unbelievable example. Well said, Marcy.
Thank you, Mark.
Can't thank everybody enough. You are all such pros. So very pleasant to work with each of you on this. Interesting, passionate, valuable insight from all four of you. Wanted to give a quick mention to our next, we have another webinar next Wednesday. This is specifically on the marketing piece of Agent Advantage. If you want to know more about the Total Expert Marketing System, join us next Wednesday. That's going to be at 3 p.m. Our October webinar will be with our own Dave Lockshire, who will talk specifically on how to work with first-time home buyers. And if you need to contact us, any feedback, we'd love to hear from all of you agents out there. We can be reached at agents@rate.com. I cannot thank all 4 of you enough. Marcy, Amy, Michelle, Colette, pleasure to work with you. We really appreciate this. Could not have gone any better.
Thank you so much, Kurt. And
And
to all of you,
Thank
thank you so much. And thanks for watching too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you
everyone
so
for
much.
being here. Be well, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for joining our webinar.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Talk to you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.